Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous. And here's her story. Hey, Ollie, I've been processing a lot lately and just wanted to share again because if it helps someone, so be it. Then it's worth it. My story, two narc parents and a long-term husband, is long and complicated and sickening, I'm aware. My mother and what she knew about my father molesting me. I was watching one of your recent videos about a narc mother who knew her child was being molested and did nothing. I'm going to preface this story by saying I've done tons of therapy, but a good chunk of it was during the dark ages when people who were abused were considered unfixable. I get that the sources I used had good intentions and were trying to help me, but they were wrong. One time in group therapy, I raged about my mother and how she never saved me. They asked me, "Did you tell her what was going on?" To which I replied, "No." They then proceeded to tell me how was she supposed to know, and that I needed to let go of that anger. They always know. They always know. Because there's always signs of you acting out from it. In retrospect, it was a lot of anger, and it was very damaging and toxic to me, of course. But that didn't make it true, and that didn't make it true that she didn't know. About this time, I had the most satisfying and frightening dream about beating my mother to death with a shovel. It was disconcerting for sure. Anyway, I did release the anger and went on to live a pretty decent life. I never have had a successful relationship with her ever. Not since childhood, and I've got no contact probably since my brother died. She has my number. She can call if she chooses not to call. And she chooses not to call. I am okay with no contact. It works for me, though now I actively choose to be no contact. My childhood was very similar to April's story from today. Porn everywhere in their room. No, that was me. I was talking about. Bathroom door was with the kind slats and the right rectangles you could see between. Right, you could always see. Like how my mother would leave the bathroom window open in the shore house and the shower curtain drawn so everybody walking up the stairs could see who's ever on the toilet. I mean, she did this. That's the door they chose, not the one that was there when they bought the house. I was told what sex was in graphic detail at the age of 5 when I asked where babies come from. Seriously, who does that? I was also painfully aware other kids did not know and made a point not to tell them. I asked what Playboy was when I was 7 and they showed me one, rather than say a magazine. I was horrified. Glanced through it briefly just to get it over with and said nothing. When a young child asks about babies, you could just say, "Oh, mommies and daddies," but no, I got the full Monty, no pun intended. When you talk about the sex noises, I feel your pain. My room was at the opposite end of the house, but I could hear everything. I used to cover my head with the pillow and wait for them to finish. Wow, these are some birthday stories I'm getting. My mother would spend her days at home with me when I was little, but she never talked to me when she was the only one home, nor did anything with me. She told me once when I was 2, I would sit in the corner and turn the phone book pages for hours by myself. I also didn't talk. I remember being able to talk when I was 2, but I simply refused. You'd probably be labeled autistic at this point. People used to try to get me to talk all the time. When my dad was at work and I was with her, it was like not being a real person. The minute he would come home, the color returned to the world and all was well. She literally had zero to do with me and was all about her golden child, my older brother. She was constantly critical of me in every area possible, and some you can't imagine. My last therapist told me not to bother trying with her because I am her other woman and nothing I do will ever be right. This is another indication that she knew what was going on. Why resent me so much if you didn't know? That sentence changed my life and pretty much started no contact. I was able to just no longer go there with her because I knew I would never get what I was looking for. I think we all get to that once we realize we're never going to get what we want from them. Is when you can finally go. You can go no contact, makes it easier when you realize you're never going to get what you want. When you realize who the narcissist is, no contact is much easier. She asked me when I was 20 years old and in rehab if he ever molested me, and I told the truth. She immediately told every member of the family on both sides. It frees her in her mind of the parenting failure she is, but was awkward for me, that everyone knew. I do not believe that is a normal reaction when your adult child tells you something like that. I wouldn't do that to my kids. I digress. She told me during that conversation when I was 12, he confessed to having urges, but told her he never acted on them and went into counseling. That bitch never once asked me about that until it suited her purpose and made her look better after their divorce because she didn't want to disclose that she knew and did nothing that would make her look bad. The narcissist always knows. They always know the truth. They plant these seeds so they can protect themselves years later in case the truth ever comes out. It's what your mother did. And she knew it. You know she knows it. She knows she knows it. And any attempts with this shit is now what the fan telling people is just an attempt to gaslight you and project her blame and guilt off. One thing I learned on my own about narcissists is that they will do whatever they tell you the most is the worst thing they've done. For example, my ex to this day swears up and down no matter what he has done to me, he's always been faithful. It's as if they are trying to convince themselves rather than us that what they are saying is true. Right, it's how they get them. Look, it's how they try to get them to believe. That's how they believe their own lies. But they don't have, and I told you this in your last video, they don't have time to believe their own lies. They just got to keep pushing their narrative. My mother's favorite line, especially when drunk dialing, is, if I had known I would have taken you and left. Right. But that's why she didn't interact with you when you were alone with her. She didn't interact with you because she was telling you, don't come to me. You're alone. That's why she wouldn't interact with you. If you heard that once, I've heard it a million times. She's trying to convince yourself that it's true, but she knows it isn't. I also had physical ramifications from the sexual abuse, sicknesses like UTIs and anal bleeding, etc., as well as completely stress-related disorders like when the lining of your stomach swells, which is ungodly painful. I started getting high and drinking when I was 12 because for me it was an escape of the feelings or die. I used to feel a great amount of shame about that, but it was necessary to survive until I got away from those animals. It served a purpose and kept me alive in some ways until I could get away and get real help. I went into rehab at 20 and have been better ever since. Realizing she knew doesn't really change much for me other than enforce what I've already known. I had sort of avoided videos about parents until now. Now that I've listened to a handful, I know I've made the right choices and it validates everything I've learned. Sure, it would have been nice to have real parents, but many of us never had that chance. Make your peace with who you are and work to be the best person you can be. You can resist, you can break free. It is possible to be alive and happy without your family of origin. My brother and father are dead, so I don't have to worry about them. It's me and the dragon lady, and it's me and the dragon lady and I remaining, and I choose not to engage her. Just for shits and giggles, here are some of the highlights. She did the clean your plate deal, and I literally spent hours at the table with a plate of ice cold food I was never going to eat. I never did. She mocked my weight endlessly. I also developed an eating disorder when I started getting high and got way too skinny. I had night terrors and would end up screaming for her, but she never came. Only my dad would come into my room and slay the hiding monsters. Not sure how that works since he was the monster. I also did 4 years of So not only does your mother know, not only did your mother know, but as you're physically calling out to her, she sent the monster in instead. And she's going to plead ignorance, right? I also did 4 years of speech class. Jesus, these people are so unoriginal. I swear this is a handbook out there somewhere. My brother beat on me mercilessly. Her response was, if you two want to fight, go outside. When I got big enough, I asked, why can he kill me and not get blood on your carpet? She also tied me to a tree once, probably when I was 8. I don't remember what I did exactly that wrong. I did something, but nothing that would warrant that. It was humiliating, covered with the rope and leaves and dirt so the neighbors wouldn't see. Incidentally, she remarried after 20 years of being single. She treats her husband the same way she treated me when I was still in contact. Going to see them made me literally want to throw up. If she does end up in a nursing home, she'll be beaten for sure because she's so evil. If you have 2 narc parents, you think one didn't know about something that happened, you're incorrect. They knew. They just didn't care. This doesn't really change what you need to do about it, but it shows how equally evil and culpable they are. I hope she does die in a nursing home alone, because that's what she deserves. Not only did she know, she sent the monster after you. That's what she did. So, thank you for another contribution and story. I hope this helps. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or you'd just like to make a contribution to the channel in general to help it expand, grow, and succeed, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you, this all goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.